AI tools for game development feel overwhelming and kind of scary, actually. But today I want to share my three-step process for getting the most out of what AI can do for us without killing creativity on the human side. So, to put it in a simple way, what AI can do for us and for what it has done for me specifically is take care of all these small tasks that are very time consuming and very difficult to do by hand. But for the AI, it's quite simple. And with that out of the way, that leaves me all the time I need to come up with what ideas I want to implement in the game, what I want fixed, what I want to see more of, and so on. How that looks in practice is basically this three-step process here. So that simply means that I always start by doing a sort of simple playtest. So I start the game in whatever form it is, and I simply see the game as it is right now. I notice the state, and I find one thing that I want to implement or one fix I want the AI to put in place for me. So fix a bug, add a new weapon, add a new structure, whatever it is in the game. And when we do that, especially in the case of bugs, it's very, very useful to get a screenshot of it. With a screenshot, I can show to the AI that this is the area I'm talking about and make it easy for it to understand which part of the game I want it to act on. Perhaps it's not the entire game, perhaps it's just one specific area, right? So this way I can focus on that exactly. And then when I have that, I can request the AI to add the feature or implement the fix I want. And then that just leaves us with starting from the first step again of playtesting, making sure the feature or the fix is implemented, and starting over that process again and see what we want to implement next. Now, so far, I think this is a pretty simple process. I'm sure you've done this process with many other areas of your life or with your existing game development already. But there is a couple of tricks I noticed with at least the current state of AI that will give you hopefully way more mileage out of your actions than simply following this. The first is something you may have heard already, which is giving goals in the prompts. Now, that sounds like a big thing, but when you boil it down, it simply means if you say, for example, the player's hit points are not showing, please fix that. That accurately describes the problem, but if you only say that in text to the AI, it doesn't know exactly where the problem is manifesting. So maybe it will go to the code part and it will modify what it thinks is the issue in the code part, but as it has happened to me many times already, that might not be enough to fix the issue. So that means that adding a goal here, something like as soon as the stage loads in the game, as soon as the player starts the game after clicking start or something, that is where the problem is. There, I should be able to see the player hit points, but I can't. So that's the issue. So that's what I want you to fix. So adding the goal is super important because the AI can very easily get lost in the myriads of possibilities for meanings in sentences. And hand in hand with that comes the second one, which is when you take these screenshots up here, you want to target the specific areas that you believe are the problem or you want to see the new feature in. So if we continue with the hit point example, that means that when you complain that the hit points of the player are not displaying on the screen, that is where having a screenshot and circling the area of the screen where you expect to see the hit points, but they're not appearing right now, really helps the AI, because then that goal you gave it before has a tangible test. And with this test, the AI knows that it needs to pass this test to consider the task complete. Otherwise, it might consider making simply a modification in code, the criterion for finishing its run. So, of course, that wouldn't be enough in many cases. So, circling the area where you expect to see the goal happen or where the problem appears has been super helpful for me. And the perhaps most stealthy benefit of this process is that enjoying the process is a very core component in this way of development. So because now the AI can do most of the heavy lifting for us, write codes, find bugs, implement features with just a sentence, and so on, that frees up our time to do many other things. So if this is a game you're developing for fun, there's no need to spend countless nights working on this, having every second poured over that. What you can do instead is, let's say you're only developing games when you're coming back from work. You don't need to spend 100% of your time there. You can play the game, see what you want the AI to implement next, give it the next task, and while it's running, you can watch a YouTube video, or since it's the end of your day, relax with playing another game. And when the AI is done working on it, you can do this loop again, see what the next task is, and while it's working on that, you keep on gaming or you keep on watching whatever you were watching. So introducing this sort of enjoyment into the process, I think, is good. It teaches us that this doesn't have to be countless hours of hopeless bug fixing and so on. It can be something beneficial that happens alongside with your life. Now, the real benefit here is that once you get used to this process and you really start enjoying it, you discover the additional potential here, which is while the AI is working on fixing one part of the game, you can keep on playtesting to discover the next part. So both of you are working in tandem, essentially. But it's not the sort of tedious work that was very typical in game development in earlier years. Now it's pure fun. So maybe you found one bug that the AI is fixing. Now you can look for another one. Or you can start thinking about, once this bug is fixed, what feature do I want to implement next? And of course, the final form of this process is you are so in tune with this process and you enjoy it so much, and you're accustomed to the rhythm of the solutions appearing and you hearing back from the AI when it's ready, that while you're having the AI work on one task, you start a second agent to work on another task and another for as long as your brain can follow, or as many tokens as you have to spend on this process. Now, those are the things that have helped me the most. And I'm keeping it pretty high level here because I think that this kind of advice would work in basically any environment, whether you use Claude, Codex, some local model, or whatever works for you. But if you want to see a hands-on example of this, please let me know and I'll do my best to provide it. Also, another thing that's great about this process is that it works whether you're deep and very late into the development of a game, even if the game didn't have any AI involvement before. But it also works if this is the very first step you take into creating a game, even if there's nothing in front of you. And let's say you want to make a, I don't know, action game. So to start with, you only need a movable character in a 3D space with a third-person camera or something. Then you start just with that. That can be your first state. You see that there's nothing on the screen right now. So, I mean, I don't know if you need to get a screenshot, but the first task would be create a movable character in a 3D scene for a 3D action game. And then you start with whatever you get from that. So this process is really malleable and really useful, I found. So anyway, that's it for today. Please let me know if you have any questions about this process or if you found a way to make it work even better for you. And until next time, have fun.